Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. In today's video we're going to take a look at the newly released SteelCraft Bodega. This is a collaboration between Todd Begg and Riot Knives of China. And what's really cool in this video, we do have one of Todd Begg's mid-techs here in the back. So SteelCraft in the front, mid-tech in the back. And my buddy Nick owns the mid-tech here, and he's actually going to join us on the video. He's a knife collector and he's a machinist, so he brings a unique technical perspective to his videos. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel and his Instagram in the description box below. So I'm here on the left. Nick, go ahead and say hello.
Hey everyone, I'm on the right.
Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Specs, overall impressions, and details. We'll both kind of talk about it, share our thoughts as we go through. Spec-wise, these two are pretty much the exact same. We have a slight difference in weight, but blade length on both is 3.875. Handle length is 5 1/4. Overall, giving us about 9 inches. The handle thickness is relatively the same, about 0.57 here on this SteelCraft. Just a hair thinner on the, with the flat inlays on that particular one. So, weight difference. The the mid-tech one is about 6.24 ounces, and the SteelCraft is about 6.46 ounces. So most likely because of the carbon fiber versus full titanium on this particular model. We'll show you some of the details in terms of skeletonizing, weight reduction between the two, and so forth. But that should be pretty much it for the specs. Let's talk about price real quick. So the SteelCraft Bodegas are coming in about $460. No, they are $460 no matter where you go. The mid-techs coming out of the Begg shop are about,
They're right around about 13.
12, 13?
Yeah, and they're going up in price, it seems like.
Are they making these still?
Yes, they're doing runs. They're usually going to be those engraved or or they have rarer materials in the inlays.
Okay, so there's a pretty good differentiation between the Begg ones and then the Riot ones at this point.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So some of the engraved ones, 13 coming out of Begg shop is kind of like the starting price for a lot of his stuff. So some of the engraved ones, which I'd love, but they're like 24, 2,800.
They're tickling $3,000.
Yeah, tickling $3,000. All right, nice. So we're going to both share our thoughts on them as we go through this. So first, let's talk about the action. So again, on a knife that's got a flipper, one of the predominant features. Now, one difference is going to be that this one is relatively new. I've been trying to work it in as much as possible, but Nick's had this one for how long?
Right around 2 years.
Okay, so 2 years. This thing's definitely broken in. I've seen him fidget with this thing quite a bit, so it's as broken in as probably it can be. But action, pretty solid. Really nice flipping action. Even though the flipper tab is rounded, I don't find myself slipping on it in the slightest. So
there's a lot of traction on those.
Yeah, just due to the flipper size.
And now you'll never end up getting a blister or any sort of weird callus growing from flipping these. They're incredibly comfortable.
Yeah, no hot spots. So slightly different sound, and this one is smoother. Yeah, it's quite a bit smoother. Again, this one's very well broken in. They both run on ceramic IKBS. There's the IKBS logo on the SteelCraft. Where's it on this one? Oh, right there.
Right there, and you can also tell by what ball they put in the clip.
Oh, okay, that's right. So if it's got a ceramic ball in the clip, then it uses ceramic balls in the pivot. Nice detail. Okay, cool. So action, how do they compare for you?
Smoother. It's really hard to tell. I'm sure this will break in. I like the D10 on this one. This one's smoother, but again, I've had this for 2 years, and like Austin said, I fidget with it quite a bit. They're fun knives to flip around.
Okay. All right. So, a slight edge to this one.
Yeah, the mid-tech is smoother.
Okay.
A little more refined, it feels like.
Okay, a little nicer break, a little nicer detent. This one will probably get as smooth, just given 2 years from now it's going to be crazy smooth. I haven't lubed it or anything. This is straight out of the box, just the way that it is. So, pretty cool. Now, let's see. Let's talk about the ergos.
Yeah, so on these, the ergos are amazing. you can choke up on it, get your finger it's almost like a finger choil up here.
And really choke the harpoon up.
There. Great here. They put some jimping on the rear, which is the same on my mid-tech, and you can really get a good hold on there. One of the big differences we kind of realized though is Todd puts a flat here, so when you choke up on it, you don't cut your finger. Where on the production, it's still left sharp, so you could have an accident right there cutting yourself.
Okay, so basically, ergo-wise, I mean, aside from the fact that this is milled titanium and this is carbon fiber, they're the same size, same exact ergos.
Yep. This is actually pretty grippy. It's grippier than mine. Mm-hmm. There's an amazing amount of traction on this. I did like that.
Yeah. So on the Sunburst pattern here, you do get a lot of grip, and there's actually quite a few different variants within the SteelCraft line. So this is the Sunburst pattern. They have other ones that comprise kind of this checkered pattern that you see on the React Wave. Pretty much looks exactly the same. They have blue, they have gold, they have hand rubbed blades, they have the black coated blades. What are some of the other variants? They have black handles.
Yeah, the color combinations are pretty crazy.
Yeah, not sure how many they're making of each, but there are quite a few different. I mean, I've seen at least like 10, I think, different combos.
Oh yeah,
maybe more.
Cool thing with these are, I'd spoke to Begg about his Quakens that he was doing. This outer border or anything you see silver is done after the knife has been, anodized or whatever. So they're taking a risk here of messing up a pretty much complete knife by adding that little silver there. They're machining it afterwards. But so that was pretty cool. They're adding that little bit in there.
Detail right at the end, right as they head towards the finish line. Okay, nice. So ergos are pretty much exactly on point between the two. Again, there isn't any real noticeable difference because they're the exact same size. They seem to be machined in the same exact way as well. I mean, they're pretty spot on.
Yeah, they're very, very similar.
Okay. Now, fit and finish, kind of overall, Riat's done a really good job over the years. Their fit and finish has been impeccable. Begg definitely has a reputation for producing, very, very well-made knives, and you certainly hope so at that price point, especially. So, fit and finish with the two, I'd pretty much say it's on par. I mean, we're going to talk about some key differences here between the two, but that's a design and execution difference. It's not a fit and finish difference. So it's spot on, right?
Yeah. This is a very, very well made knife. I have some of the Quakens. They're perfect. Mm-hmm. They really do an exceptional job on them. Okay. Todd wouldn't partner up with someone that wouldn't hold up to his standards. So
yeah. Speaking of which, that's actually done quite a bit for even Riat's reputation. When he partnered up with Begg, it was kind of a nod to their quality and their consistency. I think it's a good partnership for both. In reality, some of the things that Todd has requested of Riat are things they've been started to incorporate into their own models, and I think he's really pushed them from a capabilities machining standpoint. In fact, I think I heard that Begg went over to his shop. No, David Dang went to Begg's shop in, where is it, California?
Yeah, California.
In California for like 3 or 4 days last year after Blade Show to learn a little bit or to kind of see what they do in terms of machining. So that was interesting that they took him into their shop and said, hey, this is how we want this done, this is how we do it.
Yep.
David took it back, and they seem to incorporate it perfectly into this model here.
Yeah.
Now, before this one, the mini Bodega was released, and I really liked the look of it, but it was too small for me. I did hold out for the full-size Bodega, so if you guys are seeing this design and thinking, hey, I've seen this before. I mean, the small Bodega's been out for
over a year.
Over a year, probably since last Blade Show, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
So, anyways, and then on this take, did I tell him how I got this particular color combination? Or was that the first one I messed up and started swearing?
You told him on.
It's probably on the first one.
Probably on the first one.
Okay, so this particular one, the blue and the black with the starburst. So what I did is I hit up my friend Sanford over at Carmel Cutlery, and I said, hey, you got a bunch in, which one's the best looking? He said, I really like this blue one with the starburst and the black blade. I was like, perfect, send it to me, send him payment. So shout out to Sanford at Carmel Cutlery. If you guys are looking for something and everyone else is out of stock, one of the benefits of these smaller dealers is that oftentimes they'll be in stock on things that everyone else is out on. So you can always go check him out or give him a phone call. He's really, really good. So, all right, let's see. We've talked about fit and finish. Let's just take a look here up close at some of the details, some of the nice checkering on the back spacer. Some of the nice details on the back spacer continued. You get some nice grip there. A lot of different satins versus, blues versus polished versus, I don't know. There's a lot going on with this knife. You've got the kind of the quintessential look there with the fuller with the holes in it. That's kind of a Begg look, right?
Yep.
And let's see here. I think that's pretty much it. So fit and finish on point, right?
Yep.
I mean,
it's perfect.
If Riot made one that was this exact configuration, I don't know that you'd really be able to tell them apart from a fit and finish standpoint. Now, we are about to get into some of the differences between these two, kind of as a material build standpoint, and that is going to be the key differentiator here. So they both use 6AL4V. They both use the ceramic IKBS. This blade steel is what, N690?
690, yep.
Okay. This one is S35VN, so difference in steel choices there. Take your pick, whichever one you like better. Let's see here. The pocket clips are done a bit different, actually. So here we have a milled clip.
Yeah, it's almost backwards. There's a milled clip on the production and a I would assume a stamped steel with standoffs on the mid-tech.
Yeah. Now, from a function standpoint, they both work perfect.
One of the best I can put in my pocket. It doesn't tear my pants apart.
Yeah,
it's a great clip.
The the detent or the ceramic ball in the clip was a great design to begin with. So obviously they use it on both. That's also kind of another Begg detail. It's not quite a trademark. It's
please ask to use it kind of thing.
yeah. So it's definitely one of his things. All right, so let's see here. So the materials, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously these ones are done in titanium, and this is not an inlay. If you go in here and you look, there's no piece that's inlaid, so they just machined this right onto the same piece of titanium. Again, a ton of work put into this one. I almost wonder if it's harder or easier to do the inlays.
Yeah, it's hard to say. If it was I've worked with carbon fiber a couple times, and it's incredibly hard to get a sharp edge. So to get it to fit like this is pretty good. So hand it to him on this. But if it was a titanium insert, you could make those all day. This pivot island is, I think, what he calls it. That is a separate piece where this is just a
same piece titanium.
Same piece with an accent on it.
So yeah.
But yeah, if you were to do these out of titanium, it would be pretty simple.
Okay, gotcha. So, all right, now the other key difference between these two is going to be in the removable lock bar, essentially, or the subframe lock, as I guess they call them. So, obviously here Begg is known for, basically you can unscrew this bottom and take out the entire lock bar here if you do have a problem. This one does not use a stainless steel lock insert, it's straight titanium, whereas the Riot model does have a stainless steel lock insert. It's actually quite difficult to see. It's pretty well down in there, but here are the the two screws there. So that is really the primary difference between these two. Obviously this one encompasses a lot more machine work to get that to fit and function properly.
And being that it's a separate piece, they're able to, if you were to look at this, which is, you can kind of see it's squared off, this underneath is the same shape, but being a separate part, they're able to machine it, so it's actually the over travel stop as well, where this is using the lock bar insert as the over travel stop. So
people typically call these bolster locks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it would probably look the same underneath the bolster here. So, but as you can see, the lock bars here look very different, the thicknesses and so forth, and then the fact that this is removable. I do prefer stainless steel lock inserts. The frame doesn't need to be removable if you can just replace the small piece of stainless steel that's inset into the frame lock. So, again, which I don't really know that one's better. I think they're different approaches to the same concern or same problem. But the benefit of the stainless steel lock insert, of course, is if you get lube or anything on the lock bar or the lock face, it's not going to cause stick. But if you get lube or oil or anything on this, lock face, that may cause, some lock stick. You'll either have to work it out or take it apart and clean it. So, pick your flavor. Those are just slight differences between the two. Well, major difference between the two, but slight differences between the approach. So, all right. Anything else we're missing as far as how they differ?
No real major physical differences other than that.
Okay. So overall impressions, really, really well done. I figured I would like this piece. I didn't think I would love it, but I really do love this piece. I love the colors, love the finish. It's very, very impressive. Value-wise, obviously this one being $12.13 versus $4.60. Huge savings for essentially the same type of look. I think where this one might come ahead is if he does one with some crazy combinations of materials that you really dig, or you really want something straight out of his shop. That might be the reason to go this route. But if you've liked the model like I have, didn't want to fork out that much money, I wouldn't even call it a compromise. It's a great substitute.
Yeah, and if you want the cracked ice like this has here and on the inside, someone can do that for you on this.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, 13-ish hundred up to 3,000 pretty much. That's a lot of money. I think this is a great value. This should be, I think, a little less money, but it bears Todd's name, so
it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll leave it there. Comments, questions, let us know. If you liked having Nick on, we can bring him back for some more technical views or overviews or looks at other knives. But again, see you on the next one. Take care.